one-third of moving traffic lanes. And then sometimes we get reports, completed na yung road. Complete na, wala pang landscaping, wala pang drainage, wala pang ano. So complete road should be pati trees kasama dapat sa complete road. And we have that in the drawing. And our advocacy also, those with less in wheels should have more in roads. After all,
I totally agree.
yeah.
Yes.
After all,
Totally.
once we leave our cars, we're pedestrians.
Yes.
And that also helps the environment, climate change, and so on. And every car you own, if you have 2 cars, you must plant 20 trees. 1 car,
Good idea.
at least 10 trees. So if it's a corridor, if it has 500,000 vehicles per day, ideally, along that corridor, so there are 5 million trees.
And how many trees do we have now?
Yeah.
Ilan na ba?
Good question.
Yeah, pati yung before I tried to save the trees, MacArthur Highway going to Baguio, there was one administration, they cut 4,000 century-old trees. Dati ang ganda-ganda, you go to Ilocos, you go to Baguio, MacArthur Highway, big acacia trees, naputol. Then I complained in fact, so why not yung trees na lang, gawin ng island of trees, tapos yung road widening, be on the right side of those island of trees for slower moving vehicles. You look at it now, it did at volume, hindi. Naging parking ng mga trucks, naging drying ng palay, and so on. Hindi rin nag-gain halo, and accident prone pa. Yeah.
You know, during the pandemic, I'm not sure if you remember, attorney, but we often heard about the 15-minute cities. But then Architect Palafox has been speaking about this from way back. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about these 15-minute
We
cities.
started 5-minute neighborhoods, 10-minute communities, 15-minute cities, walking, biking, and public transit. And Rockwell is a 5-minute neighborhood. If you can afford to stay there, within your 4 steps, everything you need, urban amenities, within 400 meters. Kasi when we're planning Rockwell, August 1992, we started planning it. A survey was done. We Metro Manilans, we walk only 400 meters, 5-minute walk. Yeah. So 10-minute communities, walking, biking, and public transit also. Then 15-minute cities. When we planned Dubai, I was there, 77, polycentric city, not monocentric, not one center. Kasi I think one problem of our congestions in our country, we did not, yung population pa, panong pa ng Kastila, we did not really create other centers. Even our country should be polycentric, not Metro Manila-centric.
You mentioned something, Architect June, that you recommended the demolition of several buildings in Mumbai, and they followed it. Is that part of your recommendations with
Yes,
our
sir.
Philippine
Yes, sir.
Development Plan?
Yes,
Wow.
sir. Kasi I wrote a book, The Philippines Towards Resilient Cities Communities. The thesis, the message there is 90% less expensive to address the hazards before they become disasters, aside from saving human lives, buildings, real estate, infrastructure, and agriculture. And I asked, how come wala masyadong pork barrel sa prevention? Then the reply is, Palafox, you were not born yesterday. Pag state of calamity, wala nang bidding-bidding. Kaya siguro sa media, tanungin nyo yung mga na-hire na consultants at this post-disaster, consultants, contractors, and suppliers. Kasi wala nang bidding pag state of calamity. Pero mga post-disaster area, I work with philanthropic organizations like Suchi, the Buddhist organization from Taiwan. Yung after Yolanda, I work with them. They donated more than 3 billion pesos reconstructing. And until now, permanent homes for the survivors of Yolanda. We're also the architects under construction at tapos na. Then during Yolanda, I criticized the bunk houses as not habitable for human beings. I was criticized also for saying that, and we should not even call them bunk houses, but transient homes.
So, Architect Palafox also often spoke about these 18 hazards, and maybe this would be good for us to describe a little bit. Like, you know, it includes also solid waste management issues. As we enter into the really hot topic of flood control.
Yes, ma'am. There are 18 kinds of hazard disasters. Uh, 10 man-made and 8 natural.
Okay.
Man-made include terrorism, oil spills, and so on. And we can address them through urban planning, architecture, engineering, and the sciences. And I've spoken, wrote many articles also about earthquakes, the big one. We might forget it again because we're all focused on flooding. And I think 2004 study, magnitude 7.2, 50,000 people in Metro Manila, 2004 population will get killed. 30,000 from the earthquake, 20,000 from the fire that will occur, and Metro Manila would divide into 4, north and south of Pasig River, east and west of the fault line. And several bridges will collapse. And it's on record. In fact, I was first interviewed by Ana Coren of CNN Atlanta. Yeah. And every time there's a big earthquake in the world, I'm reminded and put forward recommendations. Like August 8, I have a letter to the President congratulating him for his mahiyam naman kayo and so on. And again, put forward long-term immediate action, 10 to 20-year plan, which we presented to President Gloria approved our 60 recommendations after Ondoy. Unfortunately, succeeding administration did not pursue it, like dredging of Laguna Lake and the Parañaque Spillway. That's why I said that time when some people blaming God for Ondoy, I said like, I described, Laguna Lake is like a toilet without a flush. Kasi hindi ginawa yung spillway, hindi makalabas yung tubig. And my last letter to the President, 150 recommendations na. Nagsimula, 60 recommendations, President Gloria, and addressing the hazards before they become disasters through urban planning, architecture, engineering, towards safer cities, towns, and communities. Yeah.
You mentioned, Architect Jun, yung dredging of Laguna Lake.
Yes.
You recommended it a long time ago. It stopped. Or it was not approved or it was cancelled.
May kontrata na po with the
May
Belgian
kontrata na.
contractors. Then, President Gloria, but successive administration kinancel. And the Belgian contractors sued the Philippine government and they won
And we had to pay back.
almost 1 billion pesos.
Aray ko po.
And meantime, hindi pa na-address yung Laguna Lake.
Mhm.
Kasi if you look at the topography of, say, Metro Manila region, from Manila Bay front, maybe 1 meter, 2 meters high. Then towards the east, Quezon City, Ayala Heights, Loyola Heights, and about 30 meters above
Tumataas
sea
na.
level.
Yes, sir.
Then it drops to the floor of Marikina Valley.
Oh.
And sa south naman, going up to Ayala Labang, most of them my project, Ayala Heights, Ayala Labang. Then it goes down again, downward, sloping towards Laguna Lake. Kaya, dahil hindi gawa rin, na-dredge yung Laguna Lake, di ginawa yung spillway, 90,000 hectares of urban land got flooded around Laguna Lake, Marikina Valley, and low-lying areas of Metro Manila. And you know what's 90,000 hectares of urban land? Malaki pa sa Singapore. Singapore is only 73,000 hectares. And kasi ginawa yung Mangahan floodway, divert floodwaters towards Laguna Lake, hindi naman ginawa yung spillway, kaya hindi makalabas ang tubig. So if I remember the numbers right, during I think we should do that also for this recent flooding. Let's do the metrics. I think 4,600 cubic meters of floodwaters from the newed mountains came down. And then the capacity of Pasig River then was only 600 cubic meters per second. Bago drenage ni Ramon Ang, yung Pasig River. So, 4,600 and 600 capacity. Hindi makalabas yung 4,000 cubic meters. Kaya binaha 90,000 hectares of urban land. Sabi ko nga, kung ayaw nila yung Parañaque Spillway dahil open canal, nag-propose ako, in-approve ni President Gloria in study, smart tunnel, parang Kuala Lumpur. Para spillway from Laguna Lake to Manila Bay, yung 3 levels, first 2 levels, roadway. Then the lowest level, spillway floodway. Pag worst flooding, the whole tunnel can be spillway.
So the Laguna Lake will be
Drain.
flushed
Flush out to Manila
doon
Bay.
sa Manila Bay.
Oo.
But sir, nabagit nyo lang kanina kasi si Mr. Ramon Ang, no? He, I think, offered to
Yes, sir.
help the government's campaign for flood control by, I think, doing a lot of cleanup of rivers. What's your take on that? Is that a good idea na parang band-aid muna tayo because
Yeah.
when it comes to planning, medyo long shot po to, mahaba yung
Yeah.
laban.
Malaking bagay ho kasi hindi ka makalabas ng tubig Manila Bay, lalaki yung capacity ng rivers. And yung San Miguel Corporation, they spent 2 billion pesos to dredge Pasig River, 1 billion to Lian River, and they're doing all the rivers of Bulacan and Pampanga, I think. Malaking bagay yun. Pero hindi lang dredging ng rivers, deepening the rivers. Marami pang iba, like our 150 recommendations, we address floodgates. Kasi yung bumabalik ang tubig from Manila Bay towards Laguna Lake, pag mataas ang sea level ng Manila Bay, kaya we need floodgates. Parang sa London, sa Thames River, may floodgates sila. Or Amsterdam. Singapore, ang lalaki na infrastructure nila for flood control. And in fact, Singapore reportedly has higher rainfall than Metro Manila. Singapore. Pero ang lalaki ng ano nila. Sa Tokyo ganun din. May malalaking ano sila to harvest the rainwater and the heaviest rainfall. And then the way we plan sa Palafox, ridge to reef. From the top of the mountain, the highlands, the midlands, the lowlands, and the coastline. Because floodwaters do not respect political boundaries. Doesn't respect property boundaries. So the planning should be comprehensive in terms of area coverage, comprehensive in terms of professional disciplines, architects, planners, engineers, scientists, geologists, surveyors, and so on. It should be comprehensive in terms of time. Immediate action program, short term, medium term, long term, and visionary. So since government is not doing the long term visionary, we're doing it not Palafox. I'll call it patriotic architecture.
Yes. Perfect. That's perfect. Yes, Attorney Masan.
You said something about the dredging and making all of these tunnels for purposes of having that spillway sa Laguna Lake natin towards Manila Bay. Mga ilang taon naman kaya yan, sir, mangyayari? If
Sir,
ever. Will
proposal
it take
ko-
about 2 years? 10 years?
Yung smart tunnel, stormwater management and road tunnel. Ginawa sa Kuala Lumpur yan, 6 years lang. Planning and implementation. Kaya proposal 2009, after Ondoy, it should have been completed by 2016. I gave the government a schedule, 10 years.
So, a similar thing happened in Kuala Lumpur,
Yeah.
but it only took them 6 years.
6 years lang.
So, tayo, sir, theoretically, we can do that too
Yeah.
if, let's say, BBM will say, let's do
Yeah,
this.
do it. Yeah. In fact, all the gaps in our infrastructure, parang patriotic, philanthropic, democratic, whatever you call it, architectural planning sa Palafox, we're doing it na. So that we will be a first world country by 2040, first world economy by 2050. Kung wala ng corruption, number 6 in economy of the world tayo. Talo pa natin na Italy.
I think it was Mayor Magalang who said na pagdating sa mga corrupt infra projects, one of them will be asphalt overlay. Ikalawa is dredging. Paano ba yun, sir, na may iwasan kung parang ganito yata yung kalakaran pag dredging ang pinag-uusapan, sir?
By the way, client din namin yung Baguio. No corruption.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no corruption. So,
Congratulations.
when I said, my estimate of 10 personal mayors are very good. Mayor Magalang started a signature campaign, Mayors for Good Governance.
Right, right.
Ang pumirma, 11% lang. So, hindi nalalayo yung 10% estimate ko. And we did not consult each other and that estimate.
Kasama mayor ko dyan, ha? Sa 10% na yan. Good governance kasi
Good
rin
governance
si
talaga.
Joy Belmonte, di ba?
Like,
I'm proud of that.
like permits, no? Sa Dubai, 55 permits are through the internet. Except marriage license, online. Biro mo, sometimes I sign 5,000 blueprints. Iniisip ko, ilang trees ang pinutol dyan? Bakit sa Dubai wala nang blueprint? They reduce, prevent corruption, red tape. They save money raw on coffee and tea. Kasi mag-apply kayo, may coffee and tea ka. And alleviated traffic. Yeah.
Can you imagine, Attorney Mison? I've been looking at so many past videos, interviews of architect Palafox from, let's say, 13 years ago, 10, up to today. And he has been saying that the Laguna Lake is really like a toilet that can without a flush, right? And I wonder how this makes you feel, sir, because that's why I actually call him a patriot, because he's been really advocating this for us since, like I said, I must have been a year old, right? So from then till now, sir, I say, and I said it in my column today at the Philippine Star, people are saying that it's too late, but I say it's not. It's not too late. So maybe your thoughts, sir.
Yeah, I've seen comeback cities. Oh yeah, comeback cities.
That's very hopeful yan, sir.
Yeah.
Ha? Pinapaasa niyo ako, sir.
Bilbao, Spain,
Spain.
was polluted industrial town. Look at Bilbao today. Philadelphia, industrial Rust Belt, they call it.
Yes.
Comeback city yan. Kaya I still feel Metro Manila can be a comeback metropolis. Makinig lang in decision makers. We know the problems, we know the solutions. And it can be done. Kaya tayo, thanks to the media, responsible media, let's put this on record so that future generations will not blame us for doing nothing. Kaya, one of my inspirations was Daniel Burnham, Hipran, Manila, 1905, Baguio in Chicago, 1909. Make big plans, make no little plans. Put them on record because our children, grandchildren will do things that will stagger us. So we should put them on record, kaya yung postcards from the future. Hindi lang isusulat,
That's really
i-drawing pa
nice.
namin.
Yes, I like that.
2050, I'll be 100 years old. And I told my doctors, with God's grace, I want to live to be 100 years old and retire 50 years after I die. So
That's a good
i-drawing na lahat.
I think we can open up our floor for questions from the media. It's very promising to hear what you have shared with us, Architect Palafox. I think if there's one takeaway that I can easily remember, yung tinatawag ninyong patriotic architecture. I hope we can have some patriotic administration as well so that ma-approve naman kahit half lang, sir, ng present ninyo. I think we can have that comeback city for Metro Manila. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. Mon Gualvez po sa TV5. Architect, you've mentioned a lot of things na parang at least makakatulong ho sa atin. No? Pero based on your expertise sa inyo pong pananaw, ano po yung pinakamalaking pagkukulang ngayon in terms of flood control system ho natin sa bansa?
Yung mga proposals even 50 years ago, they should just be updated kasi iba na yung population natin. And dapat comprehensive ang design. Like our engineers, I'm not an engineer, our engineers at Palafox always give a list before we design. May engineering surveys, yung qualities of the soil, foundation, geoanalytics, hydrology, and so on. I don't know kung nagawa lahat yung engineering surveys before the design. So then the design, then implementation. Dapat really comprehensive from the research before the ano. And contractors tell me they don't want to be quoted or they don't want to be recognized. Let's say may corrupt na bureaucrat or politician humingi ng 40%. Saan ibabawas yung specifications? Papalitan yung specs. And I think dapat tayong citizens, we should be vigilant na eh. I have colleagues at our company na dati raw hindi binabaha. Then nakita nila nag-collapse yung river wall sa community nila. We can have a long list. Maybe we can have, if you share us your email, we can continue doing conversation and keep asking questions. We send you our answers and so on.
So you're saying it boils down again into corruption?
Yes, sir. The elephant in the room. Corruption, incompetence, lack of political will, lack of visionary leadership. The visionary leadership, political will, hindi lang dapat sa presidente. Maybe simula sa barangay captain, the mayor, the governor, the president, and our legislators. Very important din. Isa pa, yung subdivision law, PD 957 ba yun? Yung 30% include roads. Pina-comment sa akin yan bago ako nagpunta Dubai. Sabi ko, the 30% open space should not include roads. Sa Singapore, 45% open space exclude the roads. Sa Hong Kong, 71% open space exclude the roads. Kaya nasisira yung kabundukan natin kasi mga subdivision developers, 30% open space including the roads. So open space talaga, 8% lang. Kaya runoff water lumalaki. Kaya dapat siguro i-review yun. Siguro sa kabundukan, baliktad. 70% open space, 30% saleable. Oo. Sa flatter areas, pwede yan. Pero even then, kulang na. Bebenta pang open spaces. You know, even elsewhere in the world, there are public open spaces and POPs, privately owned public spaces. Abroad yan, bawal mag-convert to make it saleable. Like imagine, Rockefeller Center, may mga open spaces yun. Tayuan ng bagong buildings ng Rockefeller, hindi papayag ang New York yan. Dito, just before elections, maraming nako-convert na open spaces. Bakit kaya? Kaya sabi ko, from grass to gold.
Apo. Sir, last na lang on my end. Kasi sinasabi ho madalas ng mga some LGU officials, pag nagsusobrang baha, is because grabe din doon talaga yung volume ng ulang binabagsak. So, it affects, I mean, climate change affects no yung mga ganitong klaseng sistema daw. Do you think yung flood control projects or system ho natin, hindi talaga siya capable with the climate change that we're experiencing right now?
Yeah, just so. Pero, to me, small percentage lang climate change eh. Hindi in-implement yung flood control projects the past 50 years, halos. Oo. Konti lang. Climate change, yung sea level rise. And then the land subsidence, that's man-made. Overpumping of deep wells. Kaya yung lupa, the land, bumababa, then sea level rise. Kaya double whammy. In fact, in Singapore, they're doing a green island, they call it Long Island, reclamation, to protect mainland from tsunamis and tsunamis and storm surges. Nandyan hong solusyon. Yeah. I wish there was more time. And maybe next time we'll bring 3D video animation and PowerPoint presentations about best practices elsewhere in the world that can be applied here. Huwag masyadong pagbintangan God and climate change. Hindi natin ginawa yung infrastructure.
Right.
Oo. Thank you, sir. Good question mo.
Hello, good morning. George Buit for Manila Stories. My question is, do you think the Philippines can follow suit yung ginagawa ng Asian countries like sa Taipei? They're following Amsterdam now. Their designs now people-centric. And like sa Harlem, di ba yung design nila is within the canal lines para hindi mag-flood, para magkaroon ng better flood control. Do you think cities in the Philippines will able to do that today?
It can be done, ho. Can be done. The best practice in the world, I think 90% of them, we can implement them here. Kaya ho. Like the Netherlands, 2/3 below sea level. 2/3. Yung Boston, kasi nagpag-aral tayo sa Harvard. Tinanong ko, may district doon, they call it Back Bay. Nasaan yung bay? Sabi ng Bostonian, we reclaim it. Big part of Boston is reclaimed. And I was just there last June to attend the American Super Architects Conference. They raised some roads na, I think, address climate change. 8 to 10 meters high than the existing road. Kaya yung mga new roads ngayon sa seaport area ng Boston, you enter the old buildings, third floor na. Pero may staircase pababa to the ground floor. And meron tayong hazard mapping. Nung Ondoy, there was a Dutch architect working it. As we spoke even to President Gloria, yung sabi kasi nung Dutch architect, kung nangyari daw sa Holland, yung mga binahan nun, sa Holland, i-relocate buong village, buong town. Sabi ko, in our country, private property is sacrosanct. So I said, elevate or relocate. Adaptation na lang. Like yung mga binabahan ng ground floor, mitigation will take time. Kaya look at the floodline na lang, you separate your electrical system from the ground floor and your expensive furniture, bring it up. O yung mga new construction, parang mga ancestral homes natin may silong. Oo. Hayaan mo lang yung silong mabaha. Kasi public works, 20, 50 years, they will not do it. Oo. Then even sa building code, I think Singapore, even Manhattan, from the rooftop pa lang, may rainwater harvesting na. Then within your property, may rainwater harvesting. And you can recycle that water. Then I think sa metropolitan region ng Tokyo, from the mountains, from the ridge, highlands, midlands, lowlands, a series of smaller dams, parang water retention. And you can recycle that water and use it for emergency. Nandyan ho lahat. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Oh. Is in there na. Oh.
Another question. What you can say about yung comment ni Mr. Ramon Ang about he will solve all the the problems ng flood control and everything. And yun nga, isosolve daw niya, but then yung company niya is one of the reasons ng mga projects na tinatakpan yung mga rivers o mga ganun.
Yeah, I think we should check the facts. So, because yung sa Bulacan, nung araw pa binabaha niya kasi ang daming fish ponds, kanya-kanyang seawall and dikes. Lililis nila lahat yan. And his consultant din kami ng master plan. Pero yung drainage flood control, that's engineers. Yun din yung mga involved sa Palm Island sa Dubai. And then he said he will solve the problem. He asked me to coordinate with him. I think he will alleviate the situation. Kasi there's not one single silver bullet to solve. Kasi 50 years of negligence, 50 years of incompetence, 50 years of not implementing. And thanks to him, like, not touching taxpayers' money, 2 billion ginastos sa Pasig River, 1 billion tuliyahan. I think yung mga rivers daw, mga 500 million pesos lang. Nakwa-quantify nila in tonnage. Bakit yung trillions of flood control projects? Walang report kung ilan tons ng na-dredge nila. Maybe tanungin natin, yung trillion na yan, ilan tons ang na-dredge? Ang San Miguel may i-benchmark sa San Miguel. Oo.
Thank you po.
Kaya yung sa Bulacan Airport, let's fact check before and now. Because part of my advocacy to be competitive by 2050, we need 400 international airports, 400 international seaports, and airports are the business card of a city, business card of a country. Yeah.
Good morning po. Yes, good morning po. Ask ko lang po, saan ba particular pumapalya po yung ating flood control project? Sa plano po ba, disenyo or implementation? And the other one po is kung kayo po ang magdi-design ng ating map, bilang architect ng ating national flood control project, may mga hakbang po ba kayong patutupad?
Very tough question. Hindi kami nananalo ng bid sa Public Works and MMDA. Yeah. Maski competitive proposal. Kasi implementation mukhang malayo kami doon. We just keep making proposals, and put them in record. And thanks to the media, help us put them on record. Implementation, you ask the President, you ask the Public Works, you ask MMDA.
Thank you po.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Very valid, good question. Beyond our control, though.
Hello, good morning. Noel po ng PTV News. Sir, I'm sorry, nawala ko. Nawala yung tanong. Yes, sir. Sometimes po, nung nakaraang flooding, basura, yung parang maraming basura, do you think we can also blame
Yeah.
the trash for this flooding?
Good question po. I think nakapir na ako sa Congress proposing long time ago, waste to energy. You know, plastic waste in our country, how many years get decomposed? 600 years. Singapore, 24 hours. Byproduct, power supply, paving blocks for sidewalks, and reclamation materials. And in Singapore, 60% of their garbage goes to waste to energy plants. 40% recycling, reuse, collect, ganun. Ang tagal na natin sinasabi yan. Ewan ko what's happening again. I think analysis paralysis, lack of political will.
So there's no one project that takes care of waste to energy? Wala dito sa Pilipinas?
May mga proposals, I don't know kung may na-implement
I
na ho.
see.
In fact, sa China, they're running out of garbage. Kasi they have 1,000 waste to energy plants. Sila na ang bumibili ng garbage.
Mhm. Is there any project that you could suggest?
Nasuggest ko na po.
Uh-huh.
In fact, kasi member din ako, I chair the Environment and Urban Development Committee ng American Chamber of Commerce.
Mhm.
I'm not American. Silang rin-represent ko. In the Management Association of the Philippines, I was president. PCCI, I was vice president. Sila nagpadala sa akin. And I was criticized as promoting foreign interests. Ano ba yan? I was for the environment.
Mhm. Sir, you've been in the industry for so many years. Can you give us like a description how it was, paano na ngayon yung disaster response or flooding response ng government kahit yung admin ni Aquino, Duterte at ngayon? Pakidescribe, is getting worse po ba yung flood control projects ngayon? Thank you.
Yeah, because the mitigation, yung infrastructure, hindi pa nagagawa. O kung ginawa naman, alam na, even the president said, haphazard, ghost projects pa, at corruption and incompetence. Kaya I think it's worse now because it cannot address the big flooding. And corruption, mukhang hindi natakot yung mga korap eh. O, wala nang factor of fear. Sana itong ano ni presidente, isumbong kay Pangulo, sana ma-pursue yan. Let's help him. Magsumbong tayo. Kasi kung isa lang nag-whistleblower, kawawa ka sa libel cases. I already earned 111 million pesos in libel cases for telling the truth, allegedly maligning the good names of the corrupt. Sana ito, wag madagdagan yung libel cases for telling you this. Attorney Mison to lawyer for me.
Yes, good
One
morning
more.
to Architect John. Tatanong ko lang po, kasi dito, di po ba dito sa, ang ating budget po sa flood control is napakalaki po, di po ba? Ang tanong po kasi ng karamihan, napakalaki po ng pundo, billions. Bakit po yung main problem na para sa flood control, until now hindi po masolusyonan? Lagi lang pong sinisisi ang basura, malakas ang ulan, marami ang tubig. Para po sa inyo, ano po ang the best remedy na mabigyan po natin ng solusyon yung ating problema sa baha? Maraming salamat po.
Very tough question. I'm just thinking aloud na, not recommend. Ibigay na lang kayo sa private sector. Look at our airports, mas malinis na. Oh, maybe. Oh, they might be able to earn from garbage, waste to energy, ganun. And then even the water save, it can be recycled. Oh. I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah,
I think
so
collectively we
top
can
of
have the
mind,
answers.
yeah, top of mind.
Top of mind. na lang.
Yes. Okay. I think, sige please, use this if you can.
Sir Joseph po sa GMA7. So you mentioned that there's a 50-year na kapabayaan, no? And you mentioned several projects that could have solved the flooding that we experience now. Can you mention some of them that have been not completed or probably gone the wayside?
Maybe your email na lang, padala ko sa
Sige,
yung
sir. Okay.
sulat ko kay Presidente. 160
Alright.
eh. So,
Opo.
well, long-term targets, 10 to 20 years, immediate action program, short-term, medium-term, long-term, and visionary. And I give you my business cards. You,
Yes, sir.
You viber me your email, we'll send them to you.
All right, we'll check
Yeah.
your list later.
One talaga is Paranaque Spillway.
Spillway. Can you for
Kasi
soundbite purposes?
hindi makalabas yung tubig eh.
Okay.
Like 22 rivers plus Mangahan Floodway drain into Laguna Lake. I also mentioned like a toilet without a flush at Laguna Lake. It's also like a big bathtub, walang drain, hindi makalabas. So you don't have to be a planner or genius to analyze it. Oh, the other one talaga, dredge all our rivers. I think we have more than 400 rivers. I think 180 of them are dead. And even our esteros, drain them. Like Daniel Berham plan for Manila was esteros of Manila comparable to the canals of Venice, navigable. Pasig River, like River Seine in Paris. Manila Bay, like the Bay of Naples. Those were the inspirational images of Daniel Burnham. You can still do it. You know, you Google Dubai Creek. It was very wide and silted. In my time in Dubai, it was dredged, deepened, and narrowed down. And then we planned a very beautiful waterfront development on both sides of Dubai Creek. And design, you can do it. Dubai Creek before, silted, very wide,
Okay.
very shallow. Dubai Creek today, parang center of trade and commerce, front door of development. Navigable, even ships, big yachts and ships can enter Dubai Creek lang yun, ha?
So the reason why I ask is merong parang, at least in the government now, parang they're clamoring for, at least trying to decide whether master plan, flood master plan for Metro Manila and maybe nationwide is possible. May mga features po that were mentioned in the meeting before, mga cisterns, for example, under the AFP Golf Club, UST. Now, first question is...
Nandito ho yan.
Okay.
Oo.
So first question, sir, is do you agree or in your assessment na kailangan talaga, number one, we lack a master plan for flood management? And number two, do we need that? Yung po munang questions first.
It's needed ho, but it should be part of comprehensive planning.
Mhm.
Kasi kung you have to study the land use, the housing, the demographics, the other kinds of infrastructure. Kasi even flooding cause traffic eh. Interrelated lahat yan. And we submitted a proposal to MMDA twice. Eh palagi kaming talo sa maski mas mura kami.
Pero sir, ano pang guidepost po for a master plan that would be very effective for Metro Manila?
Yeah,
In terms of concept.
Yeah, ano ho, yung plan should address even potential flooding the next 50 years.
Mhm.
Then again, immediate action, short term, medium term, long term, and visionary. Maybe up to 2075. Tignan niya. And we'd like to help. In fact, we have not been winning government projects sa MMDA. Ginagawa na namin. I-donate na lang namin sa media. Bahala na kayo mga
So yung cisterns, do you think they're effective?
Yeah, it helped. Kasi nasa codes ng Singapore, I think even Manhattan, during heavy rainfall, you harvest the water. And then you can recycle the water or release it after the floods. Under Burgos Circle, there's a big cistern underneath. And there may comment, somebody told me there's supposedly a presidential decree, every barangay should have a rainwater harvesting. Good question, sir. Yeah.
Your experience, since you mentioned, the context of course is that you're saying hindi kayo nananalo or bidding. Pero speak on behalf of maybe what you know on the industry, magkano yung SOP na hinihingi sa inyo?
Hindi ako nagbe-bribe.
Hindi, sa kanila.
Rini-report ko pa. Hindi ko alam. Like, isang project sa MMDA, I think we were 5 million lower. Nanalo yung mas mahal sa amin. And I like to believe our proposal was more competitive, a better plan of approach, and staffing pattern was deeper. Ay, sinabi na Mayor Magalong, up to 70%. Mayor Magalong sinabi na yan.
And I think with that, we can wrap up our discussion for today. Nakakatuwa, Architect Jun, no, na you mentioned a lot of things that you've done for the past 50 years, in the lifetime of Miss Pia, na time and again, you keep on saying this, recommending this, and some are followed, some are not. Hopefully, as you said, it's not about just patriotic architecture, but also patriotic leadership. And nakakatuwa when you said something about patriotic citizenship. That's why in line with our President's call for mahiya naman kayo, I think mahiya naman tayo. I think Architect Palafox already made the call to both Ms. Pia and I, to the rest of media here, to help him. Binuksan na niya yung kanyang mga multi-million plans and designs sa inyong lahat for us to really sound the alarm and help us, make a comeback city in Metro Manila. And last word, sir, just to close.
Yes, sir. I'm still hopeful. I've been tempted to change my passport 6 countries, and I believe our country is still the most blessed. We're number 1 in the world in marine biodiversity. We're now number 1 in sailors. We're number 1 in call centers. I like to believe we're number 1 in nurses. We're number 2 in geothermal energy, number 2 in BPOs. We have the 3rd or 5th longest coastline. Some countries go to war, they don't have a coastline, like Iraq invading Kuwait. In Dubai, naubusan ng natural waterfront, kaya excavated the desert to have more waterfront real estate, made the Palm Islands to have more waterfront real estate. We have long coastlines. We are number 4 in gold reserves. We are now number 4 in shipbuilding, thanks to the Japanese and the Koreans. We are number 5 in all other mineral resources, and estimate says our natural resources is worth maybe $6 trillion US. We have a demographic soft spot. Average age is 26 years old. The rest of the world is aging and aged. And I think number 13 in human resources. And the Filipino expatriates, I don't want to call them OFW, sounds like prisoners of war. They're supposed to be our heroes, preferred employees of most employers all over the world. So I'm still hopeful. We just have to we know our problems, I cited it, the 3 C's and the 4 I's. Corruption, criminality, climate change, inequality, investments, infrastructure, and incompetence. And with that, we can be in the top 20 economies of the world, number 16 by 2050, number 14 by 2075. It's not just me saying that. It's HSBC forecast and Goldman Sachs. And I don't know if I can share it here. Baka madagdagan na naman ang libel case ko. I have a client who became my friend in the Middle East. Some nations now complain to Allah why He blessed the Philippines with more natural resources, more beautiful islands, and more beautiful women. And Allah was supposed to have replied, stop complaining. I also gave the Philippines the worst politicians.
Okay, and with that, tandaan po natin, thank you, Architect Jun, for coming over. And
God is fair.
yes. And tandaan po natin, mabuhay ang Panginoon, mabuhay ang Pilipinas, mabuhay ang Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.